So, welcome everyone, and delighted to host this meeting today for Sportscom, and welcome to our office bearers and all the people from the secretariat as well. It's a very exciting meeting today, and thanks to Mukulji for inviting Meghanath sir to be on the call. Um, uh, in the last 3-4 years, as you guys may know, Tamil Nadu has started, really creating a lot of effervescence in the sports sector. And the person who is driving this entire thing is Meghanath Reddy ji, who is IAS and a graduate from the Nizam College. It's my honor to welcome him to the call. He was sub-collector at Mettur, and now after that was the district collector of Virud Virudnagar in Tamil Nadu, and since Feb 23, he has been member secretary and CEO of the Sports Authority of Tamil Nadu. If you've seen, we have a lot of sports events that happen in India. A lot of international events have been happening, and a lot of them have come into Tamil Nadu. So the kind of effort that Sir has, put not only to develop the infrastructure in Tamil Nadu, but also the capacity and the athletes' performance over there. Tamil Nadu is consistently performing very well at the Malta Games events as well. In fact, at the recent Asian Yogasan Championship, a lot of athletes from Tamil Nadu have done a spectacular job as well. So, a warm welcome to Reddy sir, and we are all very, very excited to hear from you. Thank you for giving time from your busy schedule. I know that you are traveling, and even in the middle of your travel, you have consented to be part of this call. So, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Udit, and thank you, Mukul, for giving me an invite. I was supposed to address Sportscom almost 3 months ago, if I'm not wrong, but unfortunately, due to some personal and professional engagements, I could not. But always a pleasure, coming back and to be interacting with you all. I know many of you are contributing to sports in a big way, so it's an honor, absolute honor, to be discussing with you this evening on what Tamil Nadu is doing. Before I lay out what we are exactly doing, I always believe, I've been in this post for the last 2.5 years, close to 2.5 years. One question that keeps cropping up is, how do you measure your impact in sports? What is the yardstick by which you can say that you've done well in sports sector when you're serving at a state government level? There are multiple answers for it, but I will drive home the point of what Tamil Nadu is doing, through an actual example of a sports person. How Tamil Nadu has brought in a huge gamut of change to his life. And we always believe, empowering sports person and ensuring that he or she has a fantastic, a sporting life and beyond is, one of our, major aims. Exactly 2 years ago, as I was sitting in my office, a young dwarf boy, around 25, 26-year-old, called Manoj, from a very, very rural place in Madurai district, has come into my office. His prayer was simple. A dwarf boy, you must be knowing dwarf category in para games and all. His prayer was, sir, I'm attending World Para Games at Berlin. It would cost us 2.7 lakh odd to go there. I'm a dwarf guy, doesn't have a great job. I earn only 12,000 rupees per month. And I need to go to this competition because this will help me in a big way in my sporting career. And so we looked around for answers, because 2.7 lakh per person in state government budgets. You can call any state government in the country now. You can pick up your phone call and ask them, we have this kind of a guy. Can you help them with 2.7 lakh rupees for his travel to Berlin? I can assure you with all honesty, in fact, that then, as I was then, we didn't have answers to us in our regular budgets. We found an answer in what we call Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation. Tamil Nadu is a very classic example, in fact, a very novel experiment where our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, who happens also to be the Sports Minister, created a concept called Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation. What we did was, we brought in all CSRs, industries, many, many big groups who were willing to work towards sports or contribute towards sports. We started a Section 8 company called Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation. a proper section committee with a proper website. All a sports person need to do is go apply online and tell them that this is their need. So when we were struggling what to do and how to fund this 2.7 lakh rupees, then it was just at that moment we created this Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation. So I took the application to Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and I said, sir, there is this boy who's willing to go. Our regular budgets wouldn't allow us. Can we start utilizing Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation? He said yes. So we immediately sanctioned 2.7 lakh. The twist comes that that's when we realized there are 7 such dwarf people across Tamil Nadu coming from various rural backgrounds who needed similar support to go to Berlin. They were all selected, but they didn't have any support. So we called all of them. We sponsored all 7 dwarf players, to the tune of 2.7 lakh, gave wings to their dreams to fly to Berlin. They all went to Berlin. You won't believe when they received the check, from Deputy CM, they all told me outside, sir's official residence, sir, we'll come back with medals. I brushed it off. I said, everyone would say this. That's fine. I said, go, give your best and come back. Trust me, all 7 of them came back to India with medals. All of them, few of them with multiple medals, including Manoj, who started this seed, and he got some 2 medals, 1 bronze and 1 silver. So they all came back. The second thing, Tamil Nadu is also a state which rewards its sports persons through high cash incentives. We have a set government order where for various levels of competitions ranging from national, Asiad, South Asian, and international, and across various games from carom to cricket to you name it, all Olympic Asian games. You win a competition, you come back and you get a medal, you get high cash incentive. There is a some set of amount being given in it. So all these guys came back, and at the same time they also went to World Ability Games. We again sponsored them. These guys went and went there and won medals. Manoj won medals there also. By winning these 2 competitions, which we supported, through Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation, Manoj alone got high cash incentive to the tune of 30 lakh rupees. A boy who was earning 12,000, 13,000 per month, whose parents could not support any of his dreams, in flat 1 day's, function held, in Chennai, he could carry home a check of around 30 lakh rupees. There couldn't be more, exciting moment for a sports person's, in a sports person's life. For statistics, in the last 4 years, we gave high cash incentives to the tune of 160 crore rupees to 4,600 sports persons. This is no less than a national record. I don't think any state would have given to this extent, and to diverse range of players. It's not just, we recognize only Olympians or superstars. We recognize every small achievement. It could be a para achievement, it could be a normal achievement. In fact, we are the only state which gives high cash incentives to para players on par with regular players. And so what I mean to say is, per annum, we give high cash incentives to the tune of, on an average, 40 crore to 50 crore rupees, benefiting close to 1,000 or more than 1,000 players. So Manoj, went to Berlin, got medals, came back, got high cash incentive, used this 30 lakhs to start building a house, bought some land, start building his own dreams. And then the biggest, the biggest turning point came in the form of a 3% job reservation. We are one state in the country which has a government order which speaks of horizontal reservation in all government organizations, including government departments and government PSUs of Tamil Nadu government, to provide jobs to sports persons. GO was very much there like many other states, but implementing a GO at a state level in sports is no easy task. See, we give job, a DSP to a international cricketer or a boxing medalist is simple. You announce and then you give. But how do you give to a para player? How do you give to a normal player who does some achievement in national level? How do you really give them a job? It's a big question. So we have this GO. Last year, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister gave a target to us saying that it's time to implement the GO. Let's have an ambitious target. Let's target 100 sports persons' jobs in a single year. It was a daunting task, but we took as a challenge. So we called all the applications. The GO was passed in 2018-19. From 2019 till last year, we could provide only 11 jobs, 10 to 11 jobs in all those years. Last year's target was 100. So that was the kind of a magnitude of target that we had. We called all the applications. Manoj applied because he won medals at both World Availability Games as well as World Dwarf Games. He applied, and thanks to his achievements on an international level, this boy cleared the screening committee. We look at their medals. There is a screening committee, look at their medals, give them marks, take it to the high-level committee, place before the high-level committee, and just recommend to the government that this boy is eligible for category 2 job, so please place him. And thanks to his achievements, Manoj was eligible for category 2 job. I mean class 2 job in government of Tamil Nadu. And all the process happened. He now landed a job with Tamil Nadu Newspaper Print Limited called TNPL. It's one of the most successful Tamil Nadu government PSU and ended with a category 2 job. So all this in flat 1.5 years time. I mean, normally, we do joke about it. Only in Rajnikant's movies in Tamil Nadu that, you see this kind of a revolution happening in 2 or 2.5 hours. But, here we have seen in front of our own eyes, a boy just walking into our room with nothing in his hand. Today, going back, with high cash incentives, with a permanent job of a category 2, already achieved, 2 more increments in it. Because he kept winning at Kalo Games. Recently, Kalo Para also, I think he won 1 or 2 medals. He keeps getting high cash incentives. He keeps getting promotions. And the biggest icing on the cake is this. I mean, he keeps telling me, sir, being a dwarf guy, it's tough to, survive in a society. The society looks down upon you. You go on a street, people will mock you. And if you have, dreams to become a sports person, they'll double mock you. They say, this guy is very short and, he wants to become a player. A guy who was, mocked at his, village or in a street, now has got a brand new house in his name. And thanks to the jobs and everything, he even got a girl to marry. His marriage happened in Madurai. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and all of us went in person to his house, to his new house. In fact, there was no road to his house. Deputy Chief Minister was coming. Overnight, there was a road laid by the local authorities because Deputy CM is coming to meet this boy. We all went and, visioned him. So all I would like to, put before the forum is, I mean, Tamil Nadu's, idea in sports is very simple. We do events, we do infrastructure, we do a lot of schemes. But what really matters to us is, what do we achieve by doing all of this? End of the day, if it doesn't make a positive difference to the lives of your sports persons, both in their sporting career and beyond, I think, we'll be somewhere failing in our duty. We might name some 10 events to our credit. We might name, some 5 medals to our credit. But how do you impact these players, and how do you respect and show gratitude to these players who work hard for you and for your country and bring back glory to the state? And most importantly, send a positive message to the story, into the society, that if you have the right ambition and if you, work hard, you can be a shining example in the society. So I thought all these initiatives from Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation, where you bring in CSR, and I mean, I can give multiple examples, but I want to drive home, with just one example. As a matter of fact, through Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation in the last 2 years, we benefited close to 700 sports persons in every possible way. They want to go to a competition, we support them. You need a artificial leg, because you're a para person, we support you. You need a cycle, we support you. You need anything. You need anything and everything. You need spikes for 30,000 rupees because it will help you run better and practice better. We give you. You just need to apply online, and then we process the application, and then next day we give you. If you go to our X account of Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, almost every third or fourth post will be he meeting some sports person and giving them some help in the form of Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation. So a brilliant example where you can bring the synergy of private sector into government and help it for larger good. Having said that, let me highlight few infra things which will be of great interest to all of you. On the infra front, we are doing really a lot. We are coming up with a global sports city in Chennai, spread over 120 acres of land, including a 40-acre water sports park. Phase 1 has been just approved. We'll be probably going for a global tender very soon. Phase 1 will have multiple sporting facilities, close to 8 to 9, including BMX, probably the first BMX in the country, archery, shooting, water sports. So global sports city is coming up in Chennai in a big way. We're creating brand new Olympic academies in Trichy, Tiruchirappalli, which is in the heart of Tamil Nadu. And Madurai District Sports Complex is upgraded to being upgraded to Olympic Academy level. We have a Chennai Olympic Academy where we very recently started our own sports science center. I would request all of you, if you ever happen to come to Chennai, please do pay a visit to this sports science center. I can tell you with reasonable confidence that in the next 1-2 years, this sports science center is going to make waves because of the kind of approach we are bringing to this sports science center. We're coming up with a brand new cricket stadium in Coimbatore. We have only one in Chennai, Chepauk. So government has approved to set up another cricket stadium. BOQs and designs are ready. We'll be probably going for a tender very soon. Most importantly, we are creating mini stadia in every assembly constituency. That has been one of the promise of the government. We have already created 10. We are in the process of creating another 60 by the end of this year. So basically, every small town at a constituency level will have a good mini sports stadium with some decent gym, box cricket, and a track and some gallery. So that we are doing. We are modernizing our gyms, in keeping in line with Fit India and other movement. We do have multiple gyms which were in sort of in the state of neglect. We are modernizing a membership. We are coming up with a lot of synthetic athletic tracks. This year alone, we are laying close to 4 new synthetic tracks. And also, we are coming up with 3 hockey turfs. So from an infrastructure point of view, we cover at a constituency level, and we also focus on district level and as well as at the highest level, like Olympic academies and global sports cities. Tamil Nadu is known for hosting its events. You all know the kind of grand success that 44th Chess Olympiad saw. After that, we hosted Kalo India, Asian hockey. We hosted Chief Minister's Trophy games called Tamil Nadu Olympics, where around 25,000 athletes are selected from across districts and come to Chennai. We take care of their travel, we take care of their food, we give them medals and we pay them cash incentives. So multiple things, and this year is all the more exciting because we are doing this year Junior Men's World Cup Hockey in Chennai and Madurai. We're doing World Cup Squash. We're doing Asian Sailing Championship in January 2026. We're doing Asian Surfing Championship, which is a qualifier for the Asian Games in August 2025. We are also bringing Esports Global Championship to Chennai. We are creating an IP-based esports championship. We were the first state to introduce esports into CM Trophy Games last year, and we also received an award for that. So the idea behind creating events is it inspires next generation of players. Next wave of players come from these events. You must be remembering, and you can recall Gukesh very famously saying that what inspired him to become a world champion. He recalls him watching 2013 World Championship at Chennai, where Anand unfortunately lost. But he said, that was the day I decided I should become a world champion. Probably a 10-year-old boy thinking like this makes probably little sense, but somewhere, it struck to his mind that, I have to become a world champion. And all that ignited it was a event in Chennai. So we are coming up with multiple events. We have already implemented a very fantastic scheme called Kalaingir Sports Kit, where to all the village panchayats in our state, we gave a sports kit with 33 items, from cricket to football, volleyball, handball, gym equipment, carom, chess. So we have given them. We've developed an app where the panchayat secretaries will, capture the distribution, taking it back and playing on a mobile app. This year, we are expanding into urban areas. In all the 19,000 odd divisions and wards of Tamil Nadu urban areas, we'll be giving a sports kit in the next 5 to 6 months. So this is one thing we're doing. And apart from that, there are multiple schemes that we implement to encourage players. We have like TOPS in Government of India. We have Elite, MIMS, and CDS sports schemes where we benefit close to 200 to 250 players through direct cash support. Some of them get 30 lakhs per year. Some of them get 12 lakhs per year. Some of them get 4 lakhs per year. You directly put in their account. They can use it for whatever training purpose they need. No questions asked. So all I would like to tell you is, and no wonder we became also the CI best states promoting sports, FICCI best state promoting sports. And as I told you, our intention is simple, that we believe that this is one sector which needs to be revitalized across the length and breadth of this country if we have great aims for this country. Unless you tap the potential of our youth, our country will not be able to achieve its dreams. And sports is one brilliant area where you can divert your youth energy into one brilliant physical, and see, it's not just physical, it's mental also. It directly contributes to the mental well-being of our society. So the idea is to ensure and empower every single sports person. And I would warmly welcome you all to join hands with us in any way you can. And we'll be more than happy to open our doors. Our doors are already open. So we'll be more than happy to have you in Chennai and see for yourself, the kind of revolution that we are bringing in sports. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. That was a very informative and detailed, I would say, understanding of what you've done to give so much of effervescence to the sports sector. And I think
thank you.
The only comment that I can really make is I hope that other states can emulate such energy and this progress, and India will really, fly high. And we are all passionate in the sports sector. So my humble request, sir, is that whenever you have some events or you have some new things that are coming out, why don't somebody from your secretariat also be in touch with the Sportscom secretariat so that we can all find a way to participate in one way or the other to be part of the progress that Tamil Nadu is showing. Because the sports industry, sir, is also something that is nascent, but it's growing very quickly. And what we want to do is that we at least want to aspire to be a major GDP contributor in India. And therefore, we have so many people in this group over here which are into education, who are into infrastructure, they are into events, they are into wearables, wearable technology, sports, various ecosystems of sports. So please keep us in mind, and we will. And Chennai is very, very close to all of us. At least for me, as senior vice president of Sportscom, I keep coming because my Tamil Nadu Youth Yogasan Sports Association is doing very well. We got 11 gold medalists from there recently. So,
Absolutely.
very excited to meet you very soon. I would like to open the floor,
Yes.
if you can permit, to our members to maybe interact and ask some questions. So,
Sure, with pleasure. With pleasure.
I'll just mute my call and open it up to everyone. The secretariat can manage the questions.
Sure.
Reddy sir, I want to say something that first of all, thank you for sparing a valuable time and highlighting the good work that has been done by your office and by the government of Tamil Nadu also, sir. I mean, it's really we are delighted to know that the people at the grassroots level are being given so much privilege and so much of monetary aid they are being given, so that changes their life actually. To be honest with you, it's like a 360-degree turnaround, sir. And in addition to the infrastructure that has been set up in Chennai and other parts of Tamil Nadu, sir. I think it's fantastic, sir. And probably, I think it's a state which is going to contribute hugely and at a very large level, sir, to the sporting people, sporting infrastructure, and the sports development, sir, that is happening in India. So, sir, it's brilliant to know. And, sir, thank you so much for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you very much, Mukul.
Thank you, sir.
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Please.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening, sir. It's a really pleasure to have you here. I am Prasanna Chowdhury, Managing Director for Nutra Supplements. So under the Sportscom, we are implementing a drug-free supplement policy for India. Doping is very critical element when it comes to sports. And we as a Sportscom, we are creating a policy in association with Sports Ministry, FSSI and NADA. We are also now trying to work in a similar fashion to different states to create the state policies as far as sports nutrition is concerned. So we'll be more than happy to be associated with you, sir, and your team to formulate this draft, and then we can work in association. So just like your kind, help and support in this regard, sir.
No, certainly, Prasannaji, we can work on these lines. Just, as a matter of fact, we run sports hostels and centers of excellence where we have around 2,600 students spread across 28 disciplines on a daily basis. They stay with us when we train them. And nutrition is a very critical, component. In fact, as we speak today, we revised our menu for the next year, next academic year, with a lot of sports nutrition components. We'll be more than happy to, work on these lines. I appreciate, coming up with one of a kind sports nutrition policy. And most important, you mentioned about doping. I mean, to all the stakeholders here, this is a major concern that's really, really haunting us. While national level games or competitions at the federation levels will have NADA and anti-doping measures, we are really failing at the state levels. I wouldn't shy to say that in many state level competitions, doping has become extremely, prevalent, extremely, taken granted for. You go to any washroom, after state level competitions are conducted, you'll find syringes. And I'm not, kidding about this. Somewhere, the idea is simple. I mean, you excel at the state level and stop and use that as a, gateway to some, government job. Somewhere, it's our responsibility, and everyone in the ecosystem to really work towards it. I mean, we tried by implementing at the CM trophy level games itself, in Tamil Nadu, at the state level games, we brought in NADA. So I still remember, few kids running away when they heard, NADA, is on its way. And I felt happy. And I don't mind if there is less competition, but there should be genuine competition. It cannot be a fake competition. That's a wrong message that we are sending to the sports person. So in whatever capacity you are, please ensure that there are some policies at the state level which can percolate even to the district level, because it has to start at the district level. You can't allow scot-free doping at a district level and push them to the state level. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, sir. Will be a pleasure to get associated on this line. Thank you.
Sir, Kavas Bulamoria here. I'm an Olympian in judo.
Hello,
I'm really happy the passionate way you spoke. As it's amazing. You know the reality, and at the grassroots level, you're there at the national level. That's amazing. And keep up the good work. I'm sure the good results are bound to follow if they are not already there. It's amazing. Very heartening.
Sir, I would
very
recommend,
heartening.
I would request you to come to our Chennai Olympic Academy, where we have a dedicated judo training hall. We have some, 50 to 60 kids on a daily basis getting trained in judo.
Where is this?
In fact, recently one boy, Chennai.
Amazing.
Chennai.
Yes, tell me. Recently,
one boy wanted to go to Japan, so he requested, somewhere to the tune of around 2.5 lakh help. He wanted to go to an academy there. So government immediately, supported him through TNCF, and he's on his way to Japan now. So it'll be a pleasure to show you the academy and take your blessings and support there. Thank you, sir.
Wow. And your sports persons. I'm really impressed. Really great hearing you. Thank you.
Yes, Nishant.
Thank you. Hi, Meghanath sir. Thank you for those for sharing those wonderful details about the work that Tamil Nadu state government is doing with respect to sports. I was particularly intrigued by the Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation piece that you shared. Just wanted to understand, apart from the cash incentives and providing livelihood opportunities to the existing sports person who have done wonders in the field of sports, do you also have a program as part of Tamil Nadu Sports Champions Foundation where you provide this, not the same, but a similar kind of livelihood opportunities for those who have not made it to the big level, or they have dropped out of sport due to some or the other reasons, but they have played sports for quite some time and invested their time and effort?
Nishant, Tamil Nadu Champions Foundation, looks at supporting, the current players.
Okay.
Their needs, their requirements, from both sporting competition and connected to it. The sports persons, who have not done that well, or probably would have stopped at, state level, or probably, somewhere at, national level. Our 3% job scheme mentions 3-4 levels of job categories. It doesn't just stop, at class 1 and class 2. We also have, category 3 and category 4 jobs. In fact, many players, who could not, rise up beyond state level in the last 4 or 5 years, ended up with category 4 permanent jobs. So in the 100 that we gave last year, 100 orders, there were many who were also part of our category 4 jobs, category 4 and category 3. So they knew that, could be because of injury or family conditions, they couldn't grow. But today, we are here, who assured them a job, saying that fine, you achieved till here. This is the, commensurate job that you can have with you. So that's one kind of support we are extending. And to retired players or players who are in very indigent circumstances, we give a pension and family pension of rupees 6,000 per month. We seek applications, and whoever is in dire need, I'm sure 6,000 might not make any difference to their life, but still, it's a sort of a encouragement to them, saying that you brought laurels to this country. This is the kind of support we want to stand by you when you really need it.
Sure, interesting. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Hakeem, please come in. Uh, Good afternoon. My name is Hakimuddin Habibullah. I'm an Olympian swimmer. And, Tamil Nadu as a state has a history of some good talent in swimming. But, in a recent visit I noticed that some of the infrastructure, like Velachery, for example, where I personally had the opportunity to swim when the SAF Games were held in '95, and I won a medal for India there. I see that many of it is, in a state that needs attention and needs to be potentially revamped. So just curious because again, Tamil Nadu has a wonderful coastline. I can see a lot of activity happening now with surfing. So just connecting the dots between swimming and other water-based activities, I see a lot of potential in Tamil Nadu. Just wanted your thoughts on, with what you mentioned as part of your upcoming projects. How is starting with infrastructure to other things? What's the attention with the water and swimming?
Okay.
And we'll
so
be
thanks for highlighting this. In fact,
and to also be happy to, lend my 2 bits, where possible. Thank you. Okay.
So swimming remains our top priority game. In fact, in the recently concluded national games, I think after a gap of around 30 years, our boys were on the podium. So, we are really working, on those lines. Many of the swimmers are part of our, support schemes. In fact, there is this boy called Dhanush. You must have heard about him. Dhanush was recently given a government job, category 2 government job. And I'm glad that, you observed Velachery. I'm really glad. And the good news is this year, I mean, in the last 2 months, we knew that, it required a huge revamp. Government has allocated rupees 18 crore to revamp Velachery to FINA standards. So we are already in talks with Mirtha pools, to bring in Mirtha technology to Velachery, because Velachery, is a sentimental pool. Probably every good swimmer in this country would have swam here. So we are revamping Velachery, and I'm sure in another 6 months you visit Chennai, you'll find a really top class pool in Velachery. And in the global sports city that we are coming up, the new global sports city, there is a dedicated aquatics complex that we are creating. So these are 2 major initiatives that we are doing. And from a coastline perspective, we also do really well in sailing and surfing. So in fact, I came to Delhi today to give our approach on the proposed sailing academy at Marina Beach in Chennai. Environmental clearance was needed, and I'm really glad to say that the committee approved and gave its environmental clearance. So we'll be starting the academy very soon. And in Ramanathapuram, we are creating a Olympic water sports academy at a very pristine beach called Pirapanavalasa in Ramanathapuram. That also the work is happening. We'll probably complete it by this year end. So the idea is to take the advantage of the fantastic coastline and the advantages the geography offers us, and excel in surfing, sailing, rowing, kayaking and canoeing, and as well as swimming. And sir, we'll be very happy to have your inputs on swimming. I'll take your contact number from the secretariat and I'll get in touch with you separately. We'll look forward to your inputs on how we can really make swimming the next big thing in Tamil Nadu.
Thank you.
Rahul, a quick one, because Mr. Bose has also joined. Mr. Bose, we will just another 5 minutes. Rahul, for you, please, to ask Mr. Reddy.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Reddy, and great to see the work you're doing and supporting athletes, especially those who have reached a certain level and giving them the support they need to push on. My question is for at the grassroots to increase the participation. Is there anything happening at a government level to perhaps at schools or to just get more kids to come into sport and play sport?
Rahi, at the grassroots level, there are 2 or 3 things that we do on a regular basis. Our school education departments conducts RDG, BDG games, Bharatiya Day games, and Republic Day games annually, where the competition starts at an individual school level, comes to a zonal level, sub-district level, and then comes to district level and then state level. And this is, a direct feeder into the School Games Federation games. That's part number 1. I spoke about Tamil Nadu Chief Minister's Trophy games every year. We expanded the scope of these games to around 36 disciplines as we speak, where we have dedicated competitions for school category. So at the district level, we have competitions spread in almost 30 games, both team games and individual games for school level kids alone. The best from there comes to the state level, and the question is, they come to state level, they win a medal, and they go back. We don't leave them there. We have follow-up dedicated camps for them. For example, very recently, all the table tennis players at school and college category who represented their districts at the state level, 38 districts into two, almost close to 100 of them were brought in. Sharath Kamal was brought in as the chief consultant, and using Sharath Kamal's service, we conducted a dedicated 1 week long training program. We made them stay with us. So basically, you catch them in, and you also give them regular training to ensure that you don't lose them in the process. And as I also told you, another major grassroots level talent development is our hostels, our centers of excellence. Close to 40 centers of excellence across nook and corner of Tamil Nadu, both boys and girls, training 2,600 students in 26 to 28 various disciplines. A simple fact: in the recently concluded national games and beach games in the U, the gold for beach volleyball went to Tamil Nadu, both men and women. The women team, both the girls, live with us in our hostel. So basically, these two girls are part of our hostels. They stay with us, and they are today national champions. So I mean, that's the kind of impact and both these girls come from extreme normal rural backgrounds of Madurai and Sivaganga districts.
Excellent. I would just, as a closing remark, just a lot of the thought is about medals and trying to get talent to come through. If we could just request you to also look at just participation as a whole, and just getting kids to be in sport. And if that means that some have to come up, that's great. But just get more and more kids to kind of just enjoy the joy of sport.
I understand. Yes.
Programs,
yes.
yeah.
Thank you, sir, so much for your valuable comments, all these questions. I think each and every one of us will find a way to individually reach out to you and see what we can do better. I would also want to invite my senior vice president, colleague, mentor, Vivek, to say a few words before we thank you, and maybe he can close the remarks as well.
Thank you, Udit. Reddy ji, it was so uplifting to hear you speak, and I think Udit has said it also very well. There is so much to learn from the way your state government has been proactive in promoting sports, not only for the able but also for the differently abled people, is absolutely eye-opening. And I think that is remarkable, because you didn't need to do that. You could have got all the kudos, you could have got all the laurels without having to do that. And I think that is a learning for us. We have been blessed. We are the pioneers of the running revolution in India, and we have major world events in Bangalore, Calcutta, Delhi, Bombay, and God willing, something soon in Tamil Nadu as well. On behalf of Sportscom, on behalf of my entire secretariat, Udit, we are here for you. If there's any kind of special inputs, you have a very diverse audience and membership here at Sportscom. And if there's any way we can help you with knowledge throughput, like Udit is a master in infrastructure, we have experience in participative sport. There are so many people here, from Kavas, who's been an absolute wonderful human being and a legend in judo. So we have some wonderful people. If there's any way Sportscom can support and further your vision, we are there for you, Reddy ji.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you very much. And I would really request each one of you to visit Chennai. It will be a pleasure to meet you. And if there's any help or need that we require to further our objective, I'll certainly reach out to you. It's such a pleasure, interacting with you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
God bless
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
With our next speaker, Mr. Rahul Bose, is with us. Mr. Bose, sorry for keeping you waiting.
Kavita, can we pin Rahul's
Yes,
screen
we are
as well?
doing that. Yes, please. He's here with it.
Welcome, Rahul. So delighted to be chairing this meeting, to welcome you. I think You are anyway delightfully known in too many buckets as a athlete, as an actor, an artist, a philanthropist, and the enduring torchbearer of Indian rugby. I think the way that you've transformed rugby as a sport is just so heartening to see, from the backwards of beyonds to the global arena. I think you've really transformed the sport for India, and in the last 11 years, rugby has seen a massive rise, and in the last few years, you've really made a massive change. And I think that we are all excited to see what new things are on the anvil coming up, and I would want you to talk about it. We as a Sportscom, we are an industry body that has membership, which is a diverse membership of people who are in the industry of sport, and we have people from academia, events, entertainment, infrastructure, gaming. So a lot of people over here, and we want to all participate with you in the journey that you've taken, and really hear from you. Um, I would want to not forget that you are my dear friend, and thank you so much for being part of this call today. So welcome, a warm welcome to you today.
Thank you, Udit. I completely understand how these sessions go over time. I just have one, I need your tolerance for one thing. I have to be at the airport at 5:40. Normally takes me about 25 minutes to get to the airport, but I've just checked Google Maps and it's going to take me 40 to 45 minutes. So what's going to happen is that in about 7 minutes, I'm going to get into the elevator or walk down the stairs and hope I won't lose you guys. And then continue. I have the time. I think it's a 20-minute. They would like me to speak for 15, 20 minutes and then a Q&A. So I have that time, except it'll be fractured between sitting in sanity in my home like this and getting into a car and facing Mumbai in the monsoons on the way to the airport. So that's the only forgiveness I will ask from all of you. If we had started on time, it would have been fine. But I completely understand that these things go over time, and they should, because it obviously means that there are so many questions for Meghanath ji, who I've met myself, and who is so hardworking and so dynamic, and also idealistic, which is what most of our kids seem to be losing nowadays, the idea of ideals. So after that lesson on philosophy that nobody asked for, I'm going to. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I thought I would speak about today was, I don't know if anybody on this call even knows that rugby is coming out with a Rugby Premier League, like the IPL, in exactly 19 days from now, and in Mumbai. But I wanted to talk about that after laying the context as to who we are as a federation very quickly, leading into why the league. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing a league nowadays. And out of the Tom, Dick, and Harry, maybe Tom and Harry are failing at it every couple of years. So I wanted to just place in front of you, in our opinion, a fairly unique reason why we're doing the league. Perhaps we're not unique, but you'll be the best judge of that. So without further ado, there are 760 districts in this country. Each of them are roughly have about 2 million people, 1.5 billion people. And rugby is played in 322 of these districts. I'm not saying 645 million people play rugby. I'm saying whichever district you go to out of these 322, if you say rugby, somebody will stick their hand up. We are probably the most played, least known sport in the country. And the sport is played by the poorest of the poor. I would wager that our players come from even more financially straitened circumstances than players who play kabaddi. We don't do a caste census, of course. But again, I would wager that out of all our 100,000 plus athletes, 90% would be from the lowest strata of the socioeconomic pyramid. That's the state of Indian rugby today. Thriving, totally unknown, played in parts that most of you will never visit in your lives. There are 36 nations that play, and when I speak to you about rugby right now, for the purposes of this discussion, I'm talking about rugby sevens only. Rugby is played in 15s and sevens. 15s is the test cricket version of rugby. Sevens is the T20 version of rugby. Sevens rugby is where India has the best chance. And so when I became president, I said, look, we have to have a dream, no matter how audacious it is, no matter how presumptuous it sounds, no matter how unrealistic it may be. We have to place before ourselves a dream that we will be striving towards. And as they say, if you aim for the moon, you'll definitely cross the 6-foot wall. Our idea is to get to the moon, let me assure you. Rugby is an Olympic sport. Again, when I say rugby now, from now on, I mean rugby sevens. Rugby is an Olympic sport. It's been played in the last 4 Olympics. It will be played from the next one also. And it is played officially and unofficially by over 100 countries. 36 nations play rugby sevens officially in Asia. Our women are ranked 10th. Our men are ranked 15th. If our women get to the top 2, they will make the Olympics, as the men. That's the allocation system, quota system of the nations that are chosen from each continent for the Olympics for rugby. 2032 is 7 years away, exactly 7 years away from the Olympics. We have to make 8 places in 7 years. It's not undoable, but it's very difficult. Perhaps our men in the next cycle, 2036. And if we do that, then we become only the second team in India's in the last 70 years of India's sporting history to make the Olympics. I'm not going to count cricket because I think cricket has entered in a very in a very different way into the Olympics. But traditionally, hockey's been the only sport. We had football in the 50s and perhaps just about 1960, I'm not sure. Last 70 years, we haven't had anything. By 2032, it'll be 72 years. So if we make the Olympics, it will shake things up. But first of all, it's doubtful if I'm going to live till 2032. So I think it's important for us to compress things a little bit without compromising on any of the methodologies of how to get there. So I did a study of sports across various eras and federations that had worked swimming in East Germany in the 80s, 70s, 80s, China's gymnastics revolution, diving revolution, United States and all that they have done, especially in the fields of track and field. Looked at Russia. Forget about all the controversies. Just looking at how sport has been, a particular discipline has been injected with adrenaline and taken forward. Right, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt right now. It's 4:50. I'm going to get into the elevator. I promise you I will rejoin in exactly 2 minutes. Kindly bear with me.
Kavita, did you get a chance to get a copy of his video for the?
Yes, we have. Should we run that?
You should run that once he joins back, whenever he finishes, before we open up for question and answer. With his permission, maybe you can play the video, and that'll really excite what's going on in the world of rugby. I think he would love that as well.
Sure, certainly. We took it from the YouTube now. Yes, we downloaded it from YouTube.
Udit, I caught that. Sure, please go ahead. I'm just getting into the elevator. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
I'm very excited to listen to what Rahul has to say, because in the last 18 months, I've seen the fervor and the kind of effort he's put in to put this entire league together. Now it's on a point of, bursting on the scene. I can imagine how much of sleepless nights is going into it. We are in the similar position, but we'll leave that to the next meeting together. But I think that what Rahul is doing for rugby is very commendable, and I think a lot of opportunity here, because for the industry overall, because a lot of people from the foreign countries are also part of this league, and it's also going to be part of a global telecast. So one should not lose the opportunity to be part of it in some form or another. Hi Rahul,
Sorry,
welcome
guys.
back.
My apologies.
You and I on the same boat, different boats, but the same boat, on the way to airports.
Would you like me to continue, and would you like to play the video, Udit? As you, I leave it to you. It's your call.
No, I wanted you to. You were saying something. I didn't want to break your flow. And whenever you think is appropriate, we'll play the video.
Okay, done. So as I was saying, if you make the top two teams in Asia, then you make the Olympics. So once we fixed for ourselves that goal, we said to ourselves, what is the trajectory of all the federations and all the sports that we've looked at? As I said, East Germany, Russia, America, etc. If you look at Indian cricket as a small example, Indian cricket began to play Test cricket in 1932, and the first significant victory was in 1971 against England and West Indies. 40 years for a nation to get to a point where they announce themselves on the world stage, and an just 8 members. The sport was just 8 nations big. So when you have rugby, which is rugby sevens, which is about 100 plus 140 nations big, you ask yourself, how are you going to actually get to a position where you can be seriously considered in the world of rugby? And the entire, we're not going to wait 75 years. So that is when I began thinking about the Rugby Premier League. It wasn't called the Rugby Premier League at the time, but I was thinking about what is that silver bullet that's going to collapse these 75 years into 25. I began to study the leagues, some leagues, all leagues in India. I didn't look at things like the NFL and stuff because just the socio-cultural system is different. Looked at all the leagues in India and realized which are the ones that failed and why. Many different reasons. Individual sports leagues are very difficult to create fan loyalty. For example, leagues that have sport, that have players which are the 3rd or 4th best rung of players across the world, when people have other television options, will fail. Sports that have you watching for 80, 90, 100 minutes without a guarantee of a score will be very difficult to find traction. So after doing a lot of study, I looked very hard at, first of all, the product we had. Rugby sevens is the most exciting television sport on earth outdoors because it's at 200 kilometers per hour. Somebody called it kabaddi on steroids. It's basically 14 people running like super athletes in a football arena and smashing into each other at 200 kilometers per hour. It can't fail. I'm not taking any credit for it. Nobody can take credit for that. That's just the game. Once we had that, we said, okay, what is it that we want the outcome as a federation to be from this league? We do not want the money. This is not a money-making gig. What is it then? There are 2 engines when a league is run well and correctly, and the sport is appropriate for television. There are 2 engines that will drive a sport at the completion of a successful league. Number 1, internal. Number 2, external. The internal engine that will drive the league will be immediately after June 29th, when this league gets over after 15 days in Mumbai at the Andheri Sports Complex. all 6 teams, Mumbai, Delhi, Bhubaneswar, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bengaluru, will want to win the next year. 6 scouts will travel across the country looking for rugby talent. Just because you're a Chennai team doesn't mean you can't go to Kashmir to look for talent. They'll be going all over the country, scouring for talent. Every one of these teams will get 30, 35 boys and men to be in their pool. Then they're going to say, okay, we're going to bring them home to Bengaluru or Hyderabad. Where's the ground? Who's the physio? Who's the strength and conditioning coach? Where's the sports science center? Where are we going to actually do rehab, etc., etc. So there will be 6 ecosystems of rugby, mini ecosystems of rugby, compared to what the Federation does, which is 50 times what any of these team owners would do. But there would be 6 thriving ecosystems in city areas, scouring for talent across the country. It's the internal engine, along with the fact that coaches, physios, all the support staff will start to get hired, where earlier just the National Federation would hire them and an odd, state association or 2. Externally, the motor of a well-run, successful league is that, putting it very simply, today, if one of our state association officials goes into a government office to ask for gradation, to ask for jobs, to ask for recognition of a certain victory and some rewards, they'll have to wait between 1 and 2 hours. Whereas after you have run a successful league on Jio Hotstar, as we are, you're not going to have to wait that long. Oh, yes, rugby, come into the room. And second is, you're going to break the vicious cycle of sponsors saying, we'd love to do something for you guys, but you aren't on mass media. And mass media saying, we'd love to put you on mass media, but you don't have any sponsors. So what's going to happen is that you're automatically coming to a point where you break that vicious cycle and create a virtuous cycle. So for all these reasons, as a federation, we said, this is the silver bullet we need, so that tomorrow, not tomorrow, maybe 5 years from now, maybe 7 years from now, rugby becomes a very realistic, attractive option for kids who are looking at sport. Right now, for absolutely justified reasons, kids are looking at cricket, kids are looking at badminton, kids are looking at chess, kids are looking at table tennis. So we want to be one of those. And that will only happen if you actually create a pathway for a youngster and her parents to look at it and say, yeah, that's good, that's possible. And that will only happen if you actually begin to succeed as a sport. And number 2, if you actually then show people that there is that waiting for you. Is it money? Is it the chance of representing India and being good at it? Is it that the country's team is doing well? So we see the Rugby Premier League as an engine, not the only engine, as one of the engines to actually accelerate our trajectory as a federation, as a national sport, to our Olympic ambitions. And everything that the league will do in the future will be done to serve the purposes of Indian rugby, Indian players. If money comes in, it'll go to the players. If we start getting sponsors, there will be more camps. I'll give you a small example. Our under-18 girls played the Asians last year, as they do every year. And it's a 2-day tournament. They had to play 6 games, semis and finals. And on the first day, they beat the best teams in Asia. Now, under-18 teams never play each other until the Asians. There's no under-16 Asians or under-14 Asians. So it's the first time you're thrown together and you're playing Hong Kong, United Arab Emirates, etc., etc. We beat the 3 best teams. So we thought, for the first time in our lives, because we've only gotten silver medals all the way through, for the first time in our lives, we're going to get a gold. And the next day, our girls lost all their games. And I'm watching these games and I'm thinking to myself, it's not the structure. It's not the game plan. It's not the coaching. It's not the lack of intent. And it was very plainly obvious to all of us that they just didn't have the energy. Did a nutritional audit of what our under-18s, boys and girls, under-20 boys and girls and men and women eat in the 7 months that they go home. And long story short, most of them survive on dal chawal or dal roti. You can't be talking Olympics 2032 if you're going to be doing this. You can't have it both ways. So what do? Do you send money to their homes so that they eat better? You can, but risky. Don't know where the money will go. Do you send biscuits to their homes or over my dead body? That's never going to happen. So what are you going to do? What's the solution? There is only one solution in a country as complex as India, and that is never to send them home. That they should be with you and eat the incredibly good food at camp, which I sample every time we have a camp, and the accommodation, which is air conditioned, and the physio and the rehab and the rest and the massage. I mean, for us, players are everything. Every single rupee goes in there. To never send them home. And they would love it. But that means if it costs 1 crore for a camp and a tournament, you have to put on 7 crores for that team. Into 6, now you need another 40 crores. If you want nobody in the Indian rugby ecosystem to ever go home. So when you start to think about things like this, that is when you realize the reality that is staring you in the face in this country and how to cross that reality. For that, you need intellect, but you also need something like the Rugby Premier League, which shines a light in a commercial way, in a way that can be monetized so that the money can be raised. That was just a small example. Right. I think I'm pretty done, unless Udit, Vivek, you want me to speak a little more, or I'm very happy to take questions.
No, Rahul, I think that if you think is something that you need to put across, we'd love to hear it from you. If you want to open up for some Q&A, we are okay to do that as well. But
I think, Udit,
I love listening to, the entire story. I've heard it before as well, but I'm never bored of it. I know that Tom and Harry will not be successful, and I don't want to say Tom, Dick, and Harry. It'll be Tom, Rahul, and Harry, because I don't want to call you Dick. So,
but Udit, let me spend 5 minutes and tell your members how we went about the league, and that will be very, very interesting for them to hear. You know the story, Udit, but I think just to go through that chain will take about 2-3 minutes, and then I'll stop. So when we started to say, yes, we're going to have a Rugby Premier League, the best practice that we found at the foundational point was the IPL. 18 years ago, they convinced the ICC to give them a 45-day window in which cricket would not be played anywhere in the world. If memory serves me correctly, this is what the rabbit that they pulled out of a hat so that the best players in the world were free to come. Of course, now it doesn't happen that way. So went to World Rugby and said, please give us a window in which no sevens rugby is being played on earth. They gave us the window, 1st to 15th of June. Because of the Indo-Pakistan conflict, it's now 15th to 29th of June, but the window still remains. I'm eternally thankful to World Rugby. Once we got the window, they said, we're not going to go to the players. You have to convince the players. We're just giving you a window. So they put me in front of 23 players, the best players in the world, in Perth, where they had collected for a tournament. And the players asked 4 questions. Number 1, where is it? We showed them videos. Fantastic, very good. When is it? Oh, we are free. How much are you paying us? World Rugby had told us what we should be giving as an attractive compensation. And then finally, they asked the question that all elite sports persons will ask, which is, who are the coaches? And the rabbit we had pulled out of a hat was that we had already signed on the 6 best coaches in the world. So when they heard the coaches' names, they said, you're not messing around. And we said, no, we're not messing around. And that's when they said, we are coming. Now you've got the window, you've got the best players in the world. Now you have to move on to a partner. And GMR Sports came in as our partner because they understood that their ambitions of moving from becoming team owners to becoming league partners was the next completely logical step for any company that's in sport today in the country that has ambitions beyond just owning teams. It's been a very, very good partnership. Then we went into looking for team owners. Of course, I know people. Of course, the GMR people know people. But what we did with team owners is actually significant. We didn't exaggerate even 1 rupee as to what their returns would be. We didn't exaggerate as to how many people know about rugby in this country. The short answer is a few hundred outside of people who play. We didn't dress up our statistics in terms of these many people watched our nationals, nothing. And what we presented was, this is the reality. You're not going to make a profit in the first 2 years or 3 years. This is the year that you're going to be looking at. And if anything, it'll be 1 year earlier, it won't be later. And so the kind of owners we attracted, whether it is, Dream Sports, guys who run Dream 11 in Mumbai, or Manipal Hospitals and Universities in Bangalore, Ranjan Pai, the people we attracted were people who, come on, these guys are millionaires, if not billionaires. So you want to try and dress up your statistics and make it look fancy. It's completely, it's foolish and disrespectful. So they were wise. They understood. Then they made their decision. So their decision is not a decision that places tension on our heads to say that, oh my God, we have to deliver in year 3. They understand exactly, and they appreciate the kind of honesty we've shown them. So got the team owners, and in fact, we could have 9. We could have a league of 9 teams, but we stopped at 6. There were many other financial considerations in terms of operations. Then we went on to looking for the broadcaster. There were 3 horses in town. Now there are 2 after the merger between Jio and Hotstar. And what really worked was the sport. Looking at the sport as a broadcaster, they said, there is a score every 2 minutes in Sevens rugby. The game is only 14 minutes long. You have 7 to 10 scores in every game. So there's never a moment to breathe. And in between those dopamine hits, as they called it, they said there's an event, there's a smash, there's somebody breaking through. They're like, there's a roar of the crowd. They're like, you just never, ever get to relax. And I think the sport itself speaks a lot. So there was like, so they came on board. And then, of course, once you have a broadcaster and you have illustrious team owners, you have to basically get into getting sponsors and developing your advertising campaign. So what we've done is we've actually gone step by step by step. And if a step doesn't work, then you stop. If it works, you move on. And that kind of very calculated building of a domino is what we did. Build this, then build this, then build this, then build this, and then build that is how we've approached the league. So right now we're at a step where the advertising, our anthem released 3 days ago or 4 days ago. And I had my colleagues from the Hindi film industry posting it. And the total followers of all of them who posted was about 146 million. So of course I will use those friendships. Nobody charged. Farhan Akhtar, Abhishek Bachchan, and Tiger Shroff are in the promo. They haven't charged me a rupee. On the contrary, we went to them and we shot with them. It wasn't even that we called them into a studio and spent time with them or spent money. So yes, one will leverage whatever one has in the most respectful and mutually warm manner. Because if there's one thing that I have learned through this sport, when I was 14 years old, 15 years old, or maybe 17 when I broke my nose for the first time, is if you try and play this sport alone, you will go to hospital. You have to play with other people. And you can only move forward if you move forward together. And that we follow every single day on this league, in the federation, and outside those 4 lines that I played for India within for 11 years. This is the credo that has spread through the entire federation, that we have to take everyone with us. Unabashedly, I'll say, even in the league, I'm going to be turning around and asking the public of Mumbai to come, because we can't do this without you. We can't do anything without you. So I think, Udit, that's where I'll stop.
Thank you so much, Rahul. I think the journey is exciting. We are just wanting to see the outcome. We are waiting for the product to be on television, and I think years of decades of work in the sport and the years that you've put in will come to a kind of a great opening for another journey. So thank you so much for addressing us, and I'll just request Kavita to play the video before we open it up for questions, if that's okay.
Sure, Rudra.
Surely शोले को आग होते तेरी नहीं लगती बाजी पलट दी और पलके नहीं झपकी बहता पसीना और सांसें दहकती मेहनत ही करवा दी जीत अपनी पक्की गिरे उठे लड़े और फिर जीते हमने कमर कसी.
So there is no screen share. I'm not seeing the video.
We all can see it, Udit.
Okay. Okay.
I think you
Now
will
you
have
can.
to flick it, huh?
Yeah.
You've stopped. Yeah.
We could see it.
Now we stopped it. Yeah.
Yes. Please play it.
Yeah. Just a sec, huh?
शोले को आग होते तेरी नहीं लगती बाजी पलट दी और पलके नहीं झपकी बहता पसीना और सांसें दहकती मेहनत ही करवा दी जीत अपनी पक्की गिरे उठे लड़े और फिर जीते हमने कमर कस ली तमन्ना है जीत की जिंदा ये रग्बी तुझ में और मुझ में हम सब में है रग्बी रग्बी
Thank you, Kavita, for playing that, and very exciting, Rahul. One way to see the action. I'll just request everyone to, if they have any questions, to interact and maybe individually reach out to him whenever you think it's appropriate with him. Over to you, Kavita, to curate the Q&A.
Kavita ma'am, can I say something?
Yeah, sure. Mukulji, I was about to call you out.
Sure. Good evening, Rahulji. First of all, it's really, it's like music to ears listening to you, what you have done for rugby for over, a long period of time. And you'll be pleased to know that the balls shown in the video, the Gilbert ones are made by us in the factory in Jalandhar. And we are the official supplier to the Rugby World Cup Women's also in July. It's going to happen in UK. So, and also your sevens tournament balls were in Singapore, were in Dubai. So all those are made in Jalandhar by the grace of God and good wishes of our, friends and family. So what you have done is fantastic, And in fact, I met a sports minister of Punjab also some time back, Mr. Meet here. So you presented a ball to him. I remember. I have the picture with me. So that ball was also made in the factory where I'm, located right now. So my first thing is that what we can do collectively to promote rugby in Punjab, because it's a sports loving state, and the people of Punjab are also quite keen and curious to enter this sport. Of course, under the guidance of Rugby India, for which you are the president. So how can we promote in Punjab? Secondly, at the district level, because I had a word with the local authorities here in the administration, and they were also quite keen that I have a meeting VC with you, and I'll get an opportunity to ask you that how we can promote. And secondly, that if you ever require some equipments, probably some balls or rugby shirts, rugby shorts, socks, maybe water bottles, maybe other equipment, so we'll be more than happy to get in touch with you and associate with you so that we are able to grow this game further. And I've also seen the ranking of India. I believe it's 89th as in October 2024. I believe the ranking
No,
has
no,
gone
no,
up.
no, 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 no. You're looking at rugby 15s.
Okay, so rugby union ranking, I'm talking of the rugby.
There are two rugbies. First of all, rugby union and rugby league.
Yeah.
So the definition of rugby that I've been talking about all this time is not to be confused with the format of the game. Rugby union and rugby league are as different as football and volleyball. So
yeah,
I think, so we are talking about rugby union,
yeah,
not just India, these 140, 160 countries, all of this is rugby union.
yeah,
The
yeah,
World Cup is the Rugby Union World Cup. And this 89th ranking is within rugby union, there's 15-a-side rugby and 7-a-side rugby.
yeah,
So the
yeah,
ranking you're looking at is 15-a-side rugby because nobody funds 15-a-side rugby.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We play it
But
ourselves. Let me
yeah,
finish. 7-a-side rugby, our ranking is 10th amongst 36 nations in Asia in the women and 15th amongst 36 nations in Asia in men. And there are no world rankings for rugby 15s, rugby 7s. So we don't know what our ranking is in the world, but we know what our ranking is in Asia. As far as your comment about what can be done about rugby in Punjab, a lot is being done through our Punjab Rugby Association, but I'm happy to have this conversation with you offline. I don't think we need bother the people in this forum. We are very happy to continue this conversation with you, me, and the National Development Manager, Mr. Mosamkar at Rugby India. It'll be our pleasure to do that.
sure. Thank you so much. I'll be in touch with you. And again, once again, many congratulations for bringing up this rugby league and other things which you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rahul.
Rahul, hi, Kavas Malamoria here. So impressed. Really, all the best for your venture.
Thank you, Kavas. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. So happy to see you, and oh my God, I can imagine your journey. Amazing. And I always remember, I thank you for gracing our occasion when you were so busy with all your films and whatever else. Thank you so much, Rahul.
It's always a pleasure, Kavas. You know that.
Hi, hi, Bosi.
Hey, Viv.
I know you as a brother, and I've also engaged with you professionally many times. I think this is the best time for rugby in India. And I think this is no one better than you to lead this revolution. We have been at the forefront supporting rugby. Procam has been supporting rugby for the last 30 odd years.
Yep.
And I think the one fact that struck out, the 90% of the rugby pyramid today is from the lower economic strata is very interesting, because I think what you have, which many other sports don't have, is something called hunger. These are the people who will want to move the needle for their own existence, and they will use sport, the sport of rugby, as a medium to do that. I saw that with running in Africa. I see that with running in certain parts of India because we have been pioneers there. And I think you have a great asset there when you say 90% of my people come from an economic strata, which is very different to many of us. And I think that is an asset because you will have something called hunger, and you must use that hunger for them to drive them to a better life and a better future for their families. Procam wishes you all the best. My brother Anil, myself, we are huge supporters and cheerleaders for you.
I must have done something right in my last life to have the love that Anil and you have shown me instinctively for the last, 30 years, 35, 40 years. Yeah, almost 40 years. So, and of course, come on, I've said this in public fora. This is not you scratch my back, I scratch yours. But, you remember me saying to you that I don't think running is going to work in India. And I've never eaten more humble pie, which I'm happy to eat every single year at every single event that you prove my initial doubts wrong. Congratulations, Viv. You know how much I love what you guys have done.
Absolutely, Bosi. You're family to us.
Udit, are we going to close? I mean, I still have another 5-7 minutes before I reach the airport.
I think that I don't see any other hands, but I just want to congratulate you personally and on behalf of Sportscom for an incredible journey that you've undertaken. I think it's inspiring, not only as a friend and a person in the sports industry, also as a president of a federation. We are taking a similar journey very soon, and there's so much of learning to see how you've gone about it with so much of grace, so much of effort personally, and the sweat, blood, and more blood, because it's rugby. It's very, very, motivating and inspiring. So thank you so much for joining with us today.
I just want to say one thing, Udit, before I go, and that is that these are not just words. Anybody in the sport ecosystem of this country needs us, needs me, needs our players, needs help, needs anything, just have to reach out to us, because we actually practice this is our DNA, that if we have to go work together, we have to move forward together, and we have zero ego, zero you're big, I'm small. The people who have reached out and helped us, we can never forget that. They don't need to look at us. They're 10 times our size. The people who are counseling us, who are giving us help, who we are getting favors from, it's extraordinary. Extraordinary. And then we have a Hindi movie actor who has a following of 46 million, unasked for, is posting the anthem, unasked for. I mean, that's what I mean. I'm not just talking about that. So please, everybody on this call, everybody in the sports ecosystem of India, I really believe we're at the Woodstock moment of Indian sport, where some of the best and brightest people are joining and making their lives through Indian sport. The least we, as Rugby India, and I personally, as Rahul, can do for you is to lend my shoulder to the wheel whenever it's needed. As long as it's been done with the right intention, we'll always be there with it.
Thank you so much, Rahul. It just enthuses me with the passion that you come every time I talk to you. And I can't forget the words, this is, 10 years from today, we'll look back and say, oh God, we've been part of this journey. So thank you so much for, being so, I would say, inviting to all of us to be part of this journey with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for giving me this time. I apologize for this stop and start car and all of this airport stuff, but that's just life. I'm glad we made it work. Lots of love, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.